All right. Good evening, everyone. I thought I would do. Uh, I'm got making such good progress with Legend, reconstructing Jerry Goldsmith's Legend score, that we would start the second cue in the film. So welcome. So tonight, I know with the last cue, I sort of did the sketch first. The sketch is kind of weird for this one, where I kind of want to just directly orchestrate it. This is a cue in the movie called Get It that does not have uh, on the new uh, soundtrack that Perez Saraband released. There is no track for it. I don't know if it was ever recorded. If it was recorded, it just wasn't released on the soundtrack. So we're going to have to depend on the Sibelius playback. There's other cues in the movie like this that were recorded. It's sort of related to Tim Curry's character of Darkness, sort of this devil character in the film. And it has Jerry Goldsmith is using the choir with sort of perverting some Latin words like he did for The Omen. The first words are Ave, uh, just like Ave Satani he did for The Omen. This is Ave Obscurum because I think the Obscuro, because the idea is the character darkness cannot be in the light. The light will, banish him to somewhere in a place where he can't wreak havoc on Tom Cruise and Miyasara. So I have to rewatch the movie and kind of get up to snuff on that. But so there's kind of a big choral element with this. I'm seeing some interesting. There's like a tam tam and a large bass drum, and Mahler chimes, which I don't I don't think I have a is not an instrument I can select in the Sibelius instrument list. But I'll probably just use regular chimes and write them in bass clef, and it'll be marked in red because that's below the range. But whatever. All right, so at the top of so the sketch is all over the place in terms of it's not score order. Um, we are pretty rooted in C minor this whole time. So we start with sort of a soprano alto line. I'm going to raise this a little bit. You may hear guitar playing on the deck of the house that I live in. That is not part of there's no acoustic guitar in Jerry Goldsmith's score. So we have one, two, three, four, 8 measures of this sustained fifth in the soprano and alto, and they're both marked pianissimo. There's no vowel sound. I'm going to assume that it's an oo sound. That's what it's been for most of the movie. So I'm going to put that in parentheses here. If we change our minds, we can. So then the tenor and bass have the text, they have the actual words, and they're kind of going from E flat in octaves to a perfect fourth between G and C. So just all of this is surrounding this C minor triad. And then the bass is very low, that low E flat. Both kind of decrescendo. Let's put a piano on. Oops. Piano and piano. And then the text is Ave. I was no, not the dynamics, the lyrics. Silly goose. There we go. Okay. So we have that 2 times in a row. And then in the 8th bar, once again. Oh, but it's a different word. Okay. All right. I'm just going to rewrite it. So it's one syllable. All right, we're going to copy that. Lyrics, there we go. And I'm just going to put simile for dynamics. It's probably the same thing. Let's listen to the choir. So yeah, we have the instability of the C minor chord kind of being in first inversion when you've got the E flats on the bottom, and then also the instability of that perfect fourth with G on the bottom, and there's no E flat sounding at that time. It's a cool way to do that. Okay, so we got some keyboards. I see 3 keyboard sounds right off the bat, which is perfect because we got 3 keyboards. So that's great. Okay, so bar 6. Some of these we saw in the first cue. If you go back to the early video, the early videos from yesterday. We have some of these same DX sounds are making a return appearance. So I want to name them accordingly because I'm starting to remember, like DX15. Oh, we had that. And we're going to do box text for the thing. For the names of the keyboards. Okay, DX15. There we go. There's no dynamic on it. Let's just make it piano, whatever. I think that's the kind of metal plate sound from the end of the main title. Okay, so then we've got now we have a non-DX keyboard. We have an OB8 A2. Oh, and I want to make that OB8 A2. Hear the guitar? All right. And then we have an expander. This has a longer. This drives me crazy. It's sort of like there's abbreviated names for the keyboards, and then they sometimes do the longer name. So I'm just going to do whatever the sketch says, and I can kind of unify the naming of it a little bit later. Okay, so we have a T8 R86 expander 59. I wonder if that's like an expander pack or something. I don't know. Synth nerds, sound off in the comments. Let me know. Help me figure this out. All right, so then we have a tam-tam. So yeah, we have a lot of gong and chime kind of stuff in this. This is probably a cue that took place in Darkness's lair, which is this kind of cavernous, but kind of, dare I say, opulent, kind of surroundings, but dark, obviously, but surrounded by a lot of fire. There's a lot of fireplaces. So that's part of the effect that the music is trying to capture here. Okay, so bar 6, we have a tam hit. That's a whole note. There we go. All right, and that's pianissimo. And then we have a large bass drum. I don't know if there's there must be different size bass drums. I guess I'll put large just to be true to the sketch. All right, so we got that. also pianissimo. Now we have the Mahler chimes, which I think I know what those are. I don't want to go to my internet because I'm still sheepish about doing that on my computer. So Mahler chimes. The bells ring. Oh, they're like church bells almost. Okay. Well, okay. Tubular bells will do. Okay, and we've got them. I'm going to just put it in bass clef right away. So we got some. They're right down there. So, you know, I guess we'll either have to find, if we ever perform this live, we'll have to get the Mahler chimes for it or sequence it as a synth. All right, so it's also pianissimo. All right, great. Moving on. Now we have two tubas in this cue. I'm always kind of not quite sure what to do. Okay, so I'm going to add another tuba part. Let's join them together. Because if we do it live, it's almost like I want it to be a somewhat standard instrumentation where I might give it to like a bass trombone. So I actually may cue the bass trombone for now. Because while I'm reconstructing the score and I want it to be as close to the original as possible, I also want it to be, I don't know how many cues in the movie actually use two tubas. It could be just like 3 of the 37-ish cues that are in this film. So I just want to be thinking ahead practically. And we have the, oops, let me fix that. Okay. There we go. Okay. So we have the 2 tubas, and then we also have the French horns. Now, here's the deal. One of the full scores that I have is orchestrated with 4 French horns. There are some sketches that lead me to believe that some of the cues have 6 horns because they're kind of divided in 3s. So I'm kind of leaving a staff open for the possibility of having 6 horns because I just don't know if it's worth it to have 6 horns if there's only like, again, 2 cues that have the 6 horns. But, just for the possibility of it, I'm just kind of having a condensed staff where, I have a reduction of how I would voice the horns if there were 6 of them, and I'll make that clear. So this is actually, let me do that now. This is A6. All right, and then we have the 2 tubas, and yes, I'm going to cue the bass trombone just for the ducks of it. So let's do instructor cue sized. Good. Okay. And I'm going to put a note if no second tuba. Actually, play if no second tuba. Something in my brain is telling me to capitalize tuba. Okay. Great. So let's move on to something else. Let's see. Oh, yes. Okay, so now we have the strings. Okay. So we're going to, we have trills between G and F sharp in the first violins and C and E flat. So continuing with that C minor thing, but we do have a raised 4 in the harmony. And I'm actually gonna, there's lots of talking in my house tonight, so you'll hear lots of conversations you're not meant to hear. Perfect time to live stream, right? All right, there we go. And then actually, I always do this stupid. I should just do one measure and then copy paste. All right, there we go. Yes, there is a dynamic. It's piano. For this, okay. Oh, and then the second violin part does change in measure 7. It goes to D just temporarily. Okay. And then the last thing on this page is a cello, bass, and harp octave C that comes in with the tubas and the hits with all the other instruments in measure 6. So let's add that. Got a forte piano and a decrescendo. Accent and I did that already. Okay. Oh, and you know what? It's an octave lower. Super low bass. Okay. And then I'm going to do the same thing for the harp. Boom. There's no way that a harp can do forte piano. But yeah, I guess I'll just write LV. And I'm going to put forte as the dynamic. There we go. All right, moving on. Well, actually, let's listen to that. Let's see what we got. I think the tempo is okay. Let's see if we like this. Very aggressive. Yeah, I like the I wish there was a timpani thing on it actually. No, but very cool. Okay. So then moving on, we've got a continuation of the choir, the perfect fifth and the soprano and altos continues. We have 5 bars of it that are tied over before. Okay, so you know what? I'm actually 2, 3, 4, 5. F sharp. There we go. And then it's C the whole way again. How many bars is that? Wait a minute. Let me make it another 8 bars. And now I'm gonna cut the phrase off actually at 7 bars because the tenor and bass come in bar 16. So I'll just, and they'll breathe. The singers would breathe as they need to. It's just keeping it as legato as possible. Love the sampled note performer choir sounds. They're great. All right. So then we have so what's so interesting about Jerry Goldsmith's music is sometimes it's like it's all these really simple main devices that are surrounded by a lot of kind of gossamery like string runs and woodwind runs and stuff. He's a very interesting composer. All right, so then we've got this. Is that 2 bars later? Yes. Oh, and actually it's the same as this. So I'm just going to actually copy paste that. There we go. Let me get rid of the dynamics because I've already said sim, so they know what to do. Unless they're different. No, they are not. Okay. So then we have new lyrics here. Scuro. And I'm I'm going to lyrics. Perfect. Okay. Moving on. So we have the more of the DX hits. I'm just going to actually... So it's after Skuro and then 3 bars off, and then there it is again. Blah, blah. Ah, don't do anything. Okay. Blah, blah. Okay. So then we have the... we have another tam hit somewhere. Where'd my percussion go? Oh, there it is. Okay. And actually, this group of instruments is always doing the same thing together, so we can just mostly copy and paste it. I think there's one instance where the Mahler chimes go out. So this is bar 10 and bar 14. Okay. So bar 10, bar 14. I'm just going to leave the dynamics on every time. Why not? So it looks like it's every 4 bars. So there is this kind of like dirge feel to it. Okay. So then more with the low brass. So they come in bar 10. I'm going to notate it in the tuba. So having the tubas and the French horns, right, similar kind of brass instruments, they're both conical bore brass. So they have that warmer sound because the tubing kind of opens up like a cone, as opposed to the cylindrical trumpet trombone thing that's kind of brassier and more, biting. I don't know if biting is the word I want to use, but you take my meaning. I think it's the same dynamic scheme every time, so I'm just going to copy. I have a hairpin again, but I'm just going to assume it's a similar deal. And let me put in the bass trombone part. That's cue size. Thank you very much. And then we'll put in the 4 French horns. Or actually 6 parts. There we go. And then 2 bars later, we have another entrance from them. In the director's cut of the movie, it seems like there was meant to be a lot more music for darkness with the choir. There's a lot of cues that sort of revolve around this kind of satanic choir idea that just do not appear in the director's cut of the movie. Some of them are on the soundtrack though. Cue size, there we go. And then perfect. Okay. Continuing with the violin trills. So they do differ a little bit, so I'm just going to write them in individually. Yeah, that's right. Okay. Okay, let me slur all of these. That always looks so unclear to me. There we go. Okay. Oh, and there's a slight... What dynamic are we at? We're piano. Okay. So I guess let's make it mezzo piano. It doesn't specify, but I want it to kind of go to a dynamic. Okay, and then finally we have at bar 10, same cello bass type of hits. So here and then at 14. I'm assuming it's tied over. Hang on, let me see. Yeah. Okay, yeah, it is. Okay, so that's that. Let's get one more page in before we listen to what we have. Actually, we're at the kind of end of a section here, so we have 3 bars, and then we have a 2/4 bar at 19. And then 3/4, and then 4/4. Okay. Okay, so back up to the choir. So there's that G sharp that the first violins. Oh, wait, where am I? Oh, no, that's right. Did the choir change? Huh, that's weird. Wait a minute. Oh, it's a G sharp. Ah, I got it. Okay. This is why it's good to check your work. Yeah, there needs to be a G sharp to go with the... I would have heard it in the playback anyway, but still, glad I caught that. Okay, back to where I was. Back at the choir. Okay. And then we have C. Oops. I may just slur this. I'll figure out a slurring scheme later. So let's get the dynamics on this. Dynamics. We'll do the same thing here. Ah, no, I didn't mean to do that. Dynamics, copy. There we go. Okay. Then the 2 bars before, where am I? Okay, so we got one on the... I just need more time signatures. Okay, so we've got the tenors and bass coming in bar 16. Doing more... okay, so the first thing we have is the Ave in 16, so I'll just copy paste that. And then we have a reverse of the pattern where we start on the 4th going to the octave. And we've got Day-O. Day-O. Daylight come and me wanna go home. Okay, dynamics. No, not, jeez. Lyrics, there we go. And then finally, so we're going from that C minor, C minor to C augmented chord. So the tonic stays the same, but the third and the fifth both move up a half step on beat 3 of measure 18. Okay, in obscurum. Gotta love the fake Latin. I always do that. Okay, and then they come back in the 4/4 bar with quarter notes this time. And we've modulated to C sharp minor. And I bet they say that if it's anything like The Omen, they probably say these very separated. De o in obscurum. You know. That's his style. Okay. De o in obscurum. Let me copy that. All right, awesome. And this is oh, you know what? There's a crescendo to mezzo forte. We have another DX keyboard hit here with the other elements. So I'm just going to well, here, let me do this. It's in there, and then this is here. There we go. All right, we got some temp stuff coming up at the 4/4 bar. So we've got okay, and then bassoons. So we need contrabassoon for this. Okay. What bar is this? It's the 4/4 bar. Okay. If I know my Goldsmith, I feel like these are going to be staccato. I'm going to mark them that way for now, and as I edit it with other people, they may say, let's rearticulate, let's put a different articulation on it. It's like the vocal style, you know, like dun 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 ba-da-dum, where the eighth notes are slurred, leading to a shorter beat 2 quarter note there. These are mezzo piano. go. Okay. Then we have two horns muted in the 2/4 bar. We can send them back to treble clef. Let me do that actually in this measure. And it is muted. Mezzo forte. And then we have the other two horns stopped. So this is what leads me to believe that it's probably a score with 4 horns and not, or at least this was a cue that was done with 4 horns. No, not that. And yeah, I'll do this. I'm gonna worry about the possibility of 6 horns later. I just want a staff for it in case I need it. So this is stopped. I actually... Okay, there we go. Then we have the violins. Starting in 16. And then the second violins. Same deal with the tremolo, the fingered tremolo. They have a crescendo here. And then they're playing the 16th note gesture together. Go, and I'm going to copy that over to the second violin part. The violas enter here. This is our first appearance of the viola section. Actually, I'm going to do it this way. There we go. Okay. It's just easier to read if they're up stem, down stem, in my opinion. Because we're dealing with The spelling is better when it's A flat to G natural. All right. Same thing here. And then we have a lower voice of C sharp to E natural. Let me put divide. There we go. And that is it for this page. So let's see what this sounds like so far. I'm curious. Something doesn't sound right. Oh, it's a transposing score. Ah, okay. Then I see what I did. Okay. So that's accurate, I think. Yeah, that's all good. Okay, this needs to be moved up. I knew there was something wrong. Okay. I think that fixes it, actually. Yeah. I think that's the only transposing instrument. Yeah. Let's listen from somewhere. Here. That sounds better. That sounds accurate. All right, almost done. I think we got two more pages. Moving right along. I apologize for not talking at times. I get into the zone and I forget that I'm doing a live stream. So hopefully it's fun enough if you're a music nerd to just watch this sketch being assembled into a full score. I'll try to make pithy comments about the music along the way. All righty. So we're going to continue with the choir writing. Okay. So we have a split in this measure. So I'm actually going to break the tie right there. 2, 3. There we go. And then we've got Same thing here. We have a split. There we go. I guess I'll connect. There we go. And then one more. Hang on. I'm going to add a couple bars. Okay, so we have 2 bars off, and then the sopranos are back on beat 4 of measure 30. Yes. Nope, don't want that. And now we have an ah sound. Okay, so that's tied to something, so I'll figure out what that is later. Okay, so back to the tenor bass. Let's see if I can pull. I'm just gonna write the lyrics again. So de o in ab scurum. Okay, so then tenor and bass are in a unison on F natural. That can't be right. It's got to be F sharp. Or maybe it's not. Yeah, it's F natural. Okay. So it just clashes with the B7 chord for a second. Little diez irae thing there. Kind of a reverse diez irae. Starting with the third and then going to the second. Okay, so de, a, o, ve, ve. There we go. Okay, this is basically the same except... There we go. All right, so we have the DX hit, except now it's on F on beat 2. Oh, don't do that. go. We have the OB8 coming in 2 bars before that. What was the opening? There wasn't one. I'm going to make it mezzo piano as I am this. Mezzo piano is probably fine. It's some kind of lead line. Same with this. Why not? I don't even know if we could. There's no audio of this cue, so I don't know if we'll be even able to find the sound, the original sound, or we'll just have to build it. Some kind of C sharp minor thing, but it's also, I don't know, this is weird. Let's see. Doesn't look right, but we'll try it. Whatever. Okie doke. So then we have the OB8 switches over to a DX. So this is DX3 and it's in the right hand. Oh, wait, DX3. Mezzo piano, there might be some significance to it. And then we have more timp. This is bar 23. All right, and then 2 bars later we have a tam-tam on beat 2, so it's with that F natural. There's like a big harmonic shift. And the bass drum. No dynamic. I'm gonna make them. What are they here? The pianissimo. Yeah, we'll just make them pianissimo again. More timp. 2 bars later. All right. And then we have some woodwinds, oboes, and clarinets. Yeah, that's got to be what it is. Okay, so that's in bar 26. So actually, I'm going to do this. Boom. How fast was that? Okay, and these are all pianissimo going to mezzo forte. Great. Okay. And then more... Oh, that's the bassoon stuff, right. Okay, so that's in 23. They're just doubling what the bass and tenor are doing in the choir. Oops. There we go. And then they come in again with the tenor bass in bar 29. All right, so we have the low A. Okay, that continues to be. Octave low. It's written an octave higher in the sketch, but it's still 8 VB. These might be a little heavier. What did I do in the choir? Yeah, maybe these aren't. I don't know. Again, I'll discuss it with other people who have opinions on these things. What the articulation should be. Okay. Oh, we got the French horns. Continuing. I don't know where I am in my score. Okay, there we go. So these continue to be tied over for 1, 2, and a half beats. There we go. But what is that? Oh, it's the violins. Okay. There's a slight crescendo. Let's have it go to piano just to give it a direction. Okay, so then the violins come in or continue here. Let's see, how do I want to do this? Second violins break off. And then We have a slight crescendo there. Let's make it to piano. And oh no, it's actually to mezzo forte. Okay, so 27, I'm going to go back to the tubas. It's both tubas. And we're going to decrescendo. And I'm going to cue it in bass trombone. That's that. Okay, so continuing with the violins. They pick up the trills again in this bar. And then second violins are a different pair of notes. So we've got F natural. Subito piano here. Looks like a general crescendo for everybody. And then violas are still trilling here. Looks like they got the same deal for 1, 2, and then they change to a different thing. It's a shorter deal, so. And then C sharp. There we go. And then A. Oops. I think it's the same. Probably a crescendo there. All right, that's good. And then the last thing on this page, and then we just got one more page. I can go get a burger for myself. Oh, that's right. Oh, okay, we're good. Oh, and the harp, right. Did I get all the harp instances with the thing? Let's see. No, I didn't. Okay. So there's 1 in 10. There's one in 14. That's all we got. Okay. All right. Was there any cello stuff on the previous page? No. Okay. All right. Last page. Here we go. So we start with the choir. Oh. My iPad said I thought I said the name of the S name. It lit up like I wanted to ask it a question, and I did not. All right, so these aren't tied; they're slurred. Okay, so it's going to F minor. Okie dokie pokey low key. Then this is a 3/4 bar. Then a 2/4 bar. And then a 4/4 bar. Okay, so this is the first. Okay, so then tenor. Okay, so the text is obscuro ave obscuro. Okay, then we're going to filter this out. No, I keep doing that and I don't mean to. Okay, lyrics. There we go. All right, moving down to the DX. What's a different DX? Okay, so this one is on F in 33, I believe. All right, and then we have our new synth here, the DX3. And then this could be the Goblin synth, actually, because the motif for the Goblin is these kind of perfect fifth-y things that kind of close into the perfect fourth on, as if it was going into itself by a half step. I'll have to hear it when we play it back. Yeah, I think it is. Yeah, there's the goblin motif. Da 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 ba 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 bum. All right, then we have some final timpani things. So what's our starting bar on this page? 31. All right, got that. Bassoon, contrabassoon, starting at 31. Ba-dum-bum. There's part of me that thinks if there's a beat 4 to 1 and 2 thing, like 1, 2, 3, da yum bum, that's staccato, but then ba ba. Anything on 1 and 3 maybe has like a tenuto on it, or is just sung kind of normally. What did I do with the... Bum, 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 bum. Da yum bum. Let me do it that way. I'll do it in the bassoon and contrabassoon as well. Okay. All right, there we go. And then we just have to finish up the strings. So let's go to piano here, and then, yeah. Actually. There we go. Let's make this mezzo piano, maybe. Editorializing a little bit here. right, let's get the viola part in. Here we go. You know what, these are probably slurred for 6 beats, so let me do that. Same with these. Perfect. Okay. Oops. Oh, wait. That's a quarter note. Okay. There we go. Okay, then we have our 16th notes. Put that all in one slur. I bet there's a crescendo on this. Let's keep the strings kind of uniform in their dynamics, I say. And then... Alright, so we got that. This is the thing. This is a thing. This is a thing. This is a thing. This is a thing. There we go. Okay. And then I'm going to copy the dynamics because I think they're basically the same. There we go. And then we have the cello, bass, harp one more time. Just those chords to enter it. And actually, no, we can't. Okay, so... I bet there's a... What are other people doing on this downbeat? Oh, we got the Mahler chimes and stuff again too. Okay, were they in any other places that I did not? Okay, let me figure that out in a second. Let me just get this cello bass thing in there. I don't think there's a chime with this. Might as well, I don't know, might as well put the bass drum in there. Why not? Okay. And I think that's it. I think that's all we got for this cue. So let me just see. Dun, 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 dun. Let's kind of play section by section. I'm just kind of curious. I think the best thing to do, let's play the winds, brass, and percussion, and harp. And then we can hear the choir separate and the strings separate. So we don't have anything for a while. That harp kind of rings out. Yeah, I like that articulation on the bassoon, contrabassoon. Fair enough. Choir. Let's hear the choir and keyboards. You know what? With the strings. Cool chord change. Oh, you know, let me make those staccato like I did with the bassoons. There's the goblin motif. All right, let's listen to the whole thing together. I'm trying to think, maybe it should be a hitch faster. Maybe I open up it to 116. Let's try that. Cool. I'm gonna editorialize something. Let's put a decrescendo here. That sounds good. All right, let me cut out these extra 2 bars. All right. Well, thank you for joining me this evening. I believe I'll be back tomorrow with the first couple pages of cue number 3. And yeah, that is all I got for tonight. So thank you for joining me, and I'll see y'all later. Love ya.